Yeah, that was a very good fight yesterday. Very good fight. The crazy part about the fight is these guys' heads swell up. I want to say 30 minutes after the fight. If you look at these guys' head sizes, they were looking crazy. Seen the press conference last night. I said Conor Benn's head looks huge, man. Or if you look at how big his head was, and then Eubanks when they was walking him to the back, his head was humongous. Man, they took a lot of shots to the head yesterday. I realized that halfway through the fight. I said, man, these dudes throwing a lot of head shots. It's not really many body shots. I seen a couple of body shots, but it wasn't many. Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah, Eubanks had to walk straight to the ambulance. That was crazy, man. I don't know if everybody's seen it, but definitely a wild situation. They had to walk him straight to the ambulance. You know what kind of beating you got to take to do that? He was walking through a lot of shots, too. They can say what they want, but yeah, Eubanks walked through a lot of shots. Yeah, he walked through a lot of shots. Conor Benn was throwing some bombs, as expected, but the amount of time he was throwing them, yeah, I didn't expect that. Yeah, I ain't expect him to throw punches for that amount of time. He came out throwing a lot of shots, man. Huge shots early in the first 3 rounds. It took Eubanks a couple of rounds to get going. As I said, they took a lot of shots to the head. I realized in the fight, not many body shots. Then if you look at their heads after the fight, both of their heads swell up pretty bad. Eubanks, he started throwing a lot more power shots later in the fight, say the last 4 rounds. Conor Benn was like more in the first 8 rounds because he was on a hot streak. I think around the 6th round, I was like, man, eventually guys slow down, but he was doing a good job without jabbing a lot. But I feel like if he would have jabbed a lot more, he would have had Eubanks in a good position, but started throwing a lot more right hands. He was missing a lot too last few rounds. And he tried to throw the punches off of the ropes when Eubanks was pushing him into the ropes. Yeah, that kind of changed everything for me. Once I seen Eubanks kind of fighting like every style, being aggressive on the back foot, moving lateral, I was like, yeah, he's doing everything. But Conor Benn was a lot more aggressive than I realized. I knew he was going to be aggressive, but that was a lot stronger than people expected. I know most people expected him to have that kind of ferocity, but he was going hard the whole fight, man. I think like I said, the last 4 rounds, that's when it started to kick in that he didn't have enough in the tank, but he was definitely showing that he was worthy of fighting at that weight class. Yeah, but Chris, he didn't have much at the beginning. First 2 rounds, I don't think he had much. And he was able to move, but yeah, Conor Benn, he came out immediately, first, second, threw a big hook, miss. I was like, yeah, he getting straight to it. But they're talking about right now setting up a rematch. Eddie Hearn was saying that it was already put in the contract and pushed through that it's gonna be a rematch. A lot of people say that it doesn't need a rematch. In my mind, it was a good fight. You can end it right now, but I felt like if it was gonna be close, they probably wouldn't. If it was a close fight, I knew they was gonna try to run it back. And it's already signed. So that was the idea before the fight even happened. Even with the fighters, I guess. They're the ones who signed it. I mean, it's a fight that people would see again. They would definitely watch it. Would it be better than the first one? That's when it's gonna get tricky. If it's worse than the first one, then people will be like, "Oh, you should have left it alone." But we'll see. It was definitely good though. Lived up to the hype. Undercard was good. That yard fight was better than a lot of people expected. It was better than I expected. Yeah, they definitely came to fight the yard fight, and that kind of build up momentum for the Eubanks and Ben fight. It's kind of similar if you think about it. But yeah, that was the best fight card they had in a long time. Conor Ben showed up, showed he's aggressive. He definitely validated his name. A lot of people have been asking to fight him. It's a reason why, and a lot of those guys might revisit the fight again. I heard Kell Brooks saying he'll beat both of them easy. I mean, Kell Brooks partially retired right now, and that's a fight that could have happened years ago. That's why I never understood the Triple G thing. He even said himself like that was a mistake. Definitely was. But yeah, man, definitely a good moment in sports though. Eubank Senior showed up. They put on a good show. It was crazy how they cut straight to it. They was like, oh, he was just getting out the van. I'm like, oh, okay. He's already there. Yeah, I didn't know if he was coming to the fight or not. Knew it was a good chance he would show up. But as far as the weigh-in, I knew he wasn't coming to that. Knew he wasn't coming to the weigh-in. That would have been a bad idea regardless. But yeah, man, Eubanks, he definitely showed up. Did he look less energetic? People say he looked tired, he looked drained. Uh, yeah, yeah, I would say that he didn't look as fast as he did um in a recent fight when he was fighting on the Turkey card. Yeah, he definitely doesn't look as fast as he did then. People say he aged. No, it wasn't age. It definitely wasn't aging. Trust me, it definitely wasn't aging. I gotta go back and listen to the commentary though. I didn't hear any commentary on the fight. I usually a peep in sometimes, but I didn't really hear it. I heard it for the Glanton fight. People was very upset about the Glanton fight, and usually a lot of his fights look like that. Dominating on the inside, chasing guys down, got him on the back foot, but he takes some punches too, but yeah, he definitely is on the wrong side of a lot of these decisions, so that definitely wasn't a good look. Could it have been considered a draw? Possibly. Absolutely. I've seen some fights where I didn't feel like it needed to be a draw. That probably could have been a draw. But yeah, a lot of people felt like Glanton won though. A lot of people. Especially the first couple of rounds. The last couple of rounds, uh, Billy Smith was getting some shots off clean and some good counter punches, but nah, he wasn't able to dominate early though. But yeah, that was a fight where people was like, man, I thought that Glanton won. Yeah, it depends on what people are looking at. When you got two different styles. That's why sometimes when you got the same style going against each other, it's easier to break down the fight. But when you got two different styles, it's hard to figure out what's going on. Yeah, that was a good fight card yesterday though. It definitely lived up to the hype. Yeah, the Clark fight was good. The Liam Smith fight. I don't know why I looked away. I watched that whole fight. As soon as I looked away, he got dropped. I was like, oh man. The 1 second I looked away, he got dropped. Always happens. The 1 second. Yeah, but I knew he was gonna lose that fight. That dude was a specimen. I'm like, bro, 6'1"? Even though he was coming up from like 47 recently, I ain't gonna say recently, it was years ago. But still, 147, 6'1", yeah. That's gonna cause some issues. So that's 2 weeks in a row where dudes like 5'9", 5'8" have went up against a guy that's 6'1", and it got ugly real quick. I tried to throw that warning out there, but you know, yeah, that McKenna guy definitely. And I like Liam Smith. Like I said, I was picking him against I picked Liam Smith versus what's his name? Josh Kelly, but that wasn't Josh Kelly that was fighting yesterday. Josh Kelly more the same size as Liam Smith. This dude right here, he was tall. I was kind of worried because he was hunched down like at the same level as Liam Smith. I'm like, giving away your height, but he was using his reach though. Yeah, it was a very good fight, man. I definitely enjoyed it. At first, I was like, I don't want to watch this. But then after a while, usually when fight week comes around, definitely got me hyped. I was already gonna watch the undercard though. Undercard was already. I wanted to watch the fight, but it didn't have that hype for me. Like, yeah, to be honest with you, Eubank Senior was really building up the fight more than anybody. Uh, That's something I'm probably gonna talk about later on, but yeah, Eubank Senior was building up the fight more than anybody. As soon as he started talking at the what was it, the race marathon, whatever they had, that's when all the commotion started to happen. But yeah, it was a good domino effect though. It was a good fight, man. I was waiting on that. I didn't think the yard fight was gonna be as good as it was, just because it was so late put together. Um, Unexpected. That was a good fight though. I thought Arthur was gonna get stopped, but then I was like, he's too good to get stopped this time. Yeah, I was like, yeah, he's too good to get stopped this time. Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's a bet I wish I would have went ahead and did, but I had stayed away from it. But that was my idea. I was like, yeah, he's too good to get stopped, man. And he was winning for a while, bro. That's why I stayed away from it. That man was winning till like the eighth, ninth round. I was like, whoa, this dude is winning by like 2 rounds. Yeah, Leonard Arthur was winning by like 2 rounds. I was like, oh man, y'all finna lose this fight. That's why I was like, man, that's why I stayed away from it. But y'all got him in the corner. Definitely was hitting him with some shots. He was hitting him with some big shots now. Arthur was taking some big shots, man. He was not about to get knocked out in front of that crowd last night. I just had that feeling. I was like, out of anybody who's not getting knocked out, he was somebody where I was like, I know he got knocked out recently by Yard, but I don't know. That was just a feeling I had before the fight happened. Should have went with my gut. But yeah, I know he was gonna do good enough to actually win the fight too. So yeah, he definitely deserves a lot of credit. He showed up. He definitely made that a classic trilogy. He showed up in that third fight. But yeah, they're gonna make this a rematch, man, and I'm definitely gonna watch it. And they already signed for it. They already signed for the rematch. Yeah, I didn't hear about a rematch clause, but I guess there's a rematch clause in a lot of contracts. Yeah, Eubank's that weight. I don't know, man. The weight cannot be the same, bro. A lot of people do not like the weight. Him coming in at the same weight, especially when you gotta walk straight to the ambulance. Like, come on, man. That's why some people like, man, he made one fight happen, just move on. And I can definitely agree with that. Because yeah, the weigh-ins, he was looking crazy. Then that .05 stuff, I'm like, what's going on, Abdul? Doing awesome. How are you? How do you feel about the fight after sleeping on it? You think it was a classic fight? They're talking about having a rematch. Think they should have a rematch? I don't know, man. I'll watch a rematch. Should they have one? Mm, I don't know. Because if they do that, then people gonna say, "Oh, I want to see a third one." It's gonna be that. Oh yeah, most definitely, most definitely. Yeah, that's what everybody's saying. Like, bro, move on, bro. Like, move on, man. The man walked straight into the ambulance. You seen that video? You saw him walk straight into the ambulance after the fight. I'm like, this is crazy. Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, he definitely looked drained in the ring. In the ring, you can tell from the last fight to this fight. This is why rehydration clauses are bad, man. And then the crazy part about it is most fans are like, if y'all do the rematch, take that rehydration clause away. They trying to, yeah, he was super drained going into that fight. I mean, there's a size difference, but I mean, Conor Benn had an advantage with that speed. He was in and out. Man, he threw a hook so fast one time, I was like, whoa. That's when I thought Eubanks is in trouble. If I was Conor Benn, I just would have been going in and out, throwing hooks. He was moving so fast early. Yeah, Eubanks ate a lot of shots, man. He walked through a lot of shots. Yeah, he was definitely weight trained. He walked through so many shots last night. After a while, I said, man, these dudes ain't throwing no body shots. That threw me off all the way. That's when I realized then, I said, oh, somebody will get seriously hurt. This dude walked straight to the ambulance. I've been watching fights for a while, even though it was like after the fight ended and it seemed like both of the guys had much damage. I'm like, after what I just seen, bro. You said stay. Oh, yeah. Most definitely. I agree with that. Oh, yeah. We already know that, Abdul. Now, them knots they had took upside the head, uh, those wasn't fake, bro. The knots they took upside the head was definitely not fake. Bro, I seen how big Conor Benn's head was last night. Dude, I know people say the Martin on the Martin show, how dudes be looking, after he got beat up by Hearns. But dude head was really like that. And Eubanks. Yeah, I haven't seen too many guys' heads swollen like that in recent memory. They look like some cartoon characters or something, man. Man, I don't even want to find the pictures. It's just you'll see it eventually. You're gonna be like, whoa. Remember I told you, if you haven't seen it yet, you're gonna see a picture where both of their heads look like cartoons. You're gonna be like, whoa. Yeah. That's when you know dudes was really fighting right there. They got around the 10th round last night. I'm like, man, these dudes really don't like each other, do they? That referee was horrible. Oh my God. Let's talk about that referee. I don't know his name is Lawlin or whatever. Oh, he's terrible. Oh my God. That guy's terrible. He looked like he just walked out of the bar last night the way he was. Oh man, that was terrible. That referee was horrible. They gotta stop getting these trash referees for these big fights, man. And that's a dude that did another fight. I'm gonna find out what fight he did. Watch. They be saying what fights these dudes, Eubanks, Junior versus. They be saying what fights these dudes be doing. Oh my God, this guy's terrible. They got a referee from Scotland. Oh my God. Really? Sorry, brother, but I'm gonna have to look you up real quick. Cause I don't know what the hell you been doing lately. All right, let me see this. I know this guy from some fight. Okay. That's a fight I seen this dude in where I'm like, oh man, bro. This dude was in the first Ben Whitaker and Liam Cameron fight. Uh, let me see. Is that the fight I remember him from, or is something else? Hold on, give me a minute. Give me a minute. The dog butt Nick Ball. Uh, let me see. Going through. Oh, he did the Eubanks and Liam Smith fight. Stu's had some weird fights, man. Is that the one? Just thinking. Can't see anything. So it must have been the Cameron and it must be the fight I'm thinking about. Yeah, that's the one. I don't see no other one that stands out. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that ref was horrible. Um, the commentary, yeah, I heard the commentary before I got on when I was watching the William Smith fight, and I'm like, bro, this is horrible. Just say you want him to win. Like, obviously he was doing a good job, but like the commentator is like in the 10th round or 11th round. They're like, yeah, I think Chris Billing was winning the fight. I'm like, oh my god, bro. I'm like, of course you're gonna say that. Not a good look. Oh yeah, yeah, most definitely. I liked it because he had a lot of fights on there though. I would have watched those regardless. I like boxing, so I'll be watching those regardless. Yeah, I would have watched those anyways. But yeah, I mean, their level of boxing is definitely high level. British boxing is high level boxing now. It ain't like it was 40 years ago. They got high level boxing now though. It definitely got high level boxing. That's why I was watching. That's why during the pandemic I was watching fights like Joe Joyce and Dubois. They got some talent over there. The next generation. We're gonna see. Oh yeah, I know what you mean. We gonna see because after that one that happened yesterday, that was because we got Dave Dubois. He has a son that boxes, so they got a lot of people that kind of got the same thing going. We're gonna have to see if guys make it. It's gonna get a little harder. It's harder to be a pro boxer when you're already rich. That's why a lot of pro boxers don't have sons that box. A lot of people might think that Eubanks and Conor Benn, oh, they got it easy. They already got money. They're rich already. But it's a lot of guys. Look at Ricky Hatton's sons or whatever. I don't know what they are to him, sons, cousins. But yeah, it's not easy. You just can't jump in the ring and guarantee somebody to win. It could be a no name. Yeah, it's just not easy like it used to be. So yeah, that's why I looked at the fight a lot different. Like, of course, with Conor Benn and the PEDs, I'm not a guy who is okay with the PEDs or whatever. Because the PEDs was okay. I mean, all of us would be professional athletes. Like, let's be real. People say that don't matter, bro. I know a few people who play in the NFL. If they would have took PEDs and it would have been okay, they would be in the Hall of Fame. a lot of that stuff keeps you. Most of the time, you get hurt more than anything. That's why everybody, when they look at LeBron or whatever, they're like, "Oh, he never gets hurt." So most of the time, it's about you being hurt in sports more than just not having talent. Yeah, so people overlook those things. That's why the rehydration clause was a factor in the fight. When you can affect somebody physically, you got an advantage. And of course, they were going to do that because he was a 47 or whatever. So both sides agree, okay, that makes sense. Because I'm pretty sure, and this is just hypothetical. Oh, UFC was cool, man. It was good. It was all right. I watched the whole card. It was cool though. I think I got off of here Friday. I looked at UFC, like everybody who was fighting. I checked it out for about a couple of hours. I picked all the picks, and yeah, all of them hit. So that's all I was watching it for. Yeah, bro. These dudes be out here talking like, "Oh yeah, PEDs don't matter, man." I know it's a bad time talking about it, but it is what it is. They say that, but they don't understand. It's a lot of people who was professional athletes that had to get out of the NFL or NBA because of injuries. So if they were able to take things that can help with injuries, that happens to be PED, they would have got banned, or they did get banned. So it's considered cheating. You cutting corners so you can stay on the court or whatever. No matter how it's used, it's a lot of stuff that's used. I mean, this is science, bro. They out here cloning animals now. You think they can't sit out here and make somebody stronger? What kind of nonsense is people out here talking about? But yeah, so Eubank getting in the ring, true warrior, man. Not didn't make no excuses. Jumped in the ring, made the fight happen. The fans wanted to see the fight. He made it happen. So yeah, I hope he gets his respect. He went through all that stuff, being drained and everything else, and uh, so hopefully he gets his respect. But you know, history proves that he's not gonna get the respect that he probably deserves to make the fight. Because a lot of times boxers don't make the fight that fans want to see. Like right now, people still waiting to see Joshua versus Fury. That fight's not happening. That fight is not happening. So the biggest fight that could have been made just got made thanks to this guy. So yeah, man. He definitely he put the country on his back this weekend. So he definitely deserves respect. Because he didn't have to make that fight. He definitely didn't have to make that fight. But a rematch is crazy. A rematch is wild. After seeing how those guys' heads look just recently, if they go through with that, that's just gonna show that, man, they don't care about these fighters. Yeah, you remember we were talking about that? I think we talked about that the day before that. Abdul, I think we was talking about that the day before about him walking in. He did exactly what we said he was gonna do. Yeah, he gotta fight at 68, bro. Like, it's a must. He's been fighting at 68, but playing around with 60 is crazy. And then Conor Benn's coming in at like 56 at the weigh-in. I'm like, bro, just come in at 60. We know you can come in at 60. I guess he wanted to make it look like it wasn't that bad. That sometimes guys just come in at 56. He's a smaller guy, so maybe he did just come in at 56. But I don't know. It's just hard for me to believe that that was the target weight. With that frame, you can get 160. But yeah, Eubanks was he looked slow, tired. He looked faster as the fight goes on. Like when you get to that age, or you've been cutting weight crazy over the years, like it's to a certain point where you're gonna have to have one of those fights where you just walk straight to the hospital. I mean, well, ambulance, go to the hospital. To have a repeat of this, same rehydration clause and weight, it's just gonna be a struggle on him. Definitely don't want to see it. I don't think if it can. I don't think it can be better with the same circumstances. So they need to stay away from this fight for a second time. That's just my opinion. Only thing that could happen is something go bad. Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about that tomorrow. I can't wait till those fights happen. Um, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We're gonna see what happens. Trying to figure out if Inoue can get a knockout or, you know, bro. These fights he be having now, like that's why I say Inoue gotta fight some different guys, bro. The numbers that Vegas got for his knockouts is insane. Las Vegas is guaranteeing this man getting a knockout. Guarantee. Never seen nothing like this before. I've seen it where they said, big favorite. But Las Vegas is like guaranteeing this man to get a knockout. You can win big money just by the fight going 12 rounds. So yeah, he gotta fight some tougher guys, bro. No way in this century of boxing. But that's a whole nother story. Nah, they won't do that. No, I don't think he'll do it. I don't think he's gonna move up that high. 126 is already dangerous. We got Espinoza, Rafael Espinoza, a Mexican guy who's like 6'1", 6'2". Yeah, man. Espinoza fighting on the undercard. Well, co-main event. I don't know if Inoue is ready to fight 6'1" featherweights from Mexico with knockout power. I just don't. That actually box. This ain't no rock'em sock'em robot type of guy. I just don't know if he's ready for that work. So for him to fight Tank would be even, you know, more difficult. But I don't think that fight will happen. Yeah, I don't think that fight ever happens. It'll be something good to talk about though. But yeah, I don't think anyone can take power of Tank though. If I wanted to be honest about it, I thought he could go in there and make something happen, but I don't think he can take Tank's power. Yeah, Riley came out there and he really was impressive, man. He was using his length, moving around a lot. He probably boxed the best out of everybody on the card. He had probably the best performance. Cause Clark was fighting good, but Riley kept going back to that jab. He got some long arms too, man. Yeah, McKenna. I told you McKenna was a dog, man. He fought better than I thought he would. So I told you, man, they sleeping on these Irish fighters. They got a couple of dogs over there. A lot of these guys skinny and tall too. I don't know why. As soon as I looked away, McKenna dropped Liam Smith, and I'm like, then I see the highlight where Smith dropped, and I'm like, hey, Smith got dropped? When did this happen? Yeah, so that was crazy. It was a good fight though. I was definitely impressed. The fight card is better than I expected. Yeah, he still need a little more work, but he definitely is on his way. I think he needs he called out Eubanks. He said he wants to fight with Eubanks or a title fight, but I think he needs to pump the brakes a little bit. Dude talking about fighting Janovic. He was saying it already though. He was saying it a couple of days ago. People wasn't paying attention. I heard Liam Smith talking about fighting Eubanks or the winner of this fight or whatever. So I said maybe he's looking ahead a little too much right now. This McKenna guy's coming to fight. He's definitely legit. Yeah, McKenna was definitely legit, man. He showed up. Think he might have been what, the youngest on the card? I think he was. Dude showed up all the way. I don't know where Clark's gonna go from here, but Riley, the cruiserweight division is tough. Ramirez, Ja, Badu Jack. Yeah, it's a lot of people. Does he haven't fought Billiam Smith? So he could fight Smith. You think Riley versus Smith is a good fight? Yeah, that would be a good fight. Yeah, but I think Ja, Ramirez, and Badu Jack, if Badu Jack wins this weekend, Badu Jack still got to come out there and win this weekend. Yeah, I think Riley and Smith be a good fight. Yeah, I think that's definitely a good fight. Ramirez, yeah, I think does Ramirez got a fight lined up? I think he got a mandatory or something. I know what everybody else is doing, but I forgot what Ramirez is doing. But yeah, Badu Jack got to win this weekend. I was thinking about that. I don't know for sure if he's gonna win. Probably the only fight I don't really know who's gonna win in that fight. Might be the closest fight this weekend. Oh yeah. Yeah, bro. Uh, I'm learning. You know what I'm saying? I've been learning over the years. So what I did was instead of learning the older guys, like starting off with Calzaki and coming back, I just started with the people who was already boxing, and I just learned them. Like Nick Ball, I already knew who he was, you know. So I just started off, early. I don't know everybody, but like people knew who Moses was before I did. I didn't know who Moses was. I knew who he was, but I didn't know of him as much. But yeah, I pay attention to everybody. Yeah, you always gotta learn, man. Something new to learn every day. Yeah, but that's why I feel like the fight is good though. Because of the circumstances of the fight. I think it showed that first the fans wanted the fight. You say you starting to learn more about American and Mexican fighters. Oh, that's good, man. Yeah, that's good. I think the fans wanted the fight first of all. It was a legacy fight. Don't really have any other fights of meaning right now that's possible to make. So that was a fantasy fight fans wanted to make. It got made. That makes sense. I mean, in America, they need to do that a lot more. They have been doing it, but come on, man. I mean, if they really would like to. This weekend, I mean, it's gonna be some fights. I didn't ask for Rolly versus Ryan. That was something these nerds wanted to see last year. I never wanted to see Ryan versus Rolly. That's come on now. That's like a genie saying, "You got 3 wishes. What 3 fights you want to see?" Oh, I want to see Ryan versus Rolly. He like, you don't want to see George Foreman versus Ali live? Yeah, me too. I like the stories and the journeys, bro. That's why a lot of these guys got some good stories. A lot of people don't really find out about these guys' stories until after they retire. But I'm usually like, peeping it out while they boxing. Yeah, I know what you mean. He said scripted journey. Yeah, scripted journey. Oh, you want to learn about somebody? Learn about who's the best fighter? Like somebody like Crawford. If you don't know nothing about Terrence Crawford, look up Terrence Crawford. He got a good story. Yeah, I heard people say, man, he has a mean mom, and bro, that's most American moms. I don't know if everybody knows that or not. American moms are vicious, especially when it comes to kids. So yeah, that's how it goes. But yeah, Eubanks, man, he showed up yesterday though. Cause those last 4 rounds, I thought for sure he was gonna be done. Oh man, I thought he was done. I was like, man, this dude started slow. First 2 rounds, he was kind of sluggish. Middle rounds, he was good. I was cool with the middle rounds. But then those last 4 rounds, I was like, man. But I thought that he was gonna take it because Conor Benn, he was going the whole entire fight. It would have looked better if Conor Benn would have this is not the way he's wired, so I already knew that going into the fight. But if he would have took off a couple of rounds in the middle or paced himself in the middle rounds, he would have had enough in the tank for the last 4 rounds. But he's not built like that. He's only at 1 speed. I think a lot of punches he threw that missed definitely caused him to be tired at the end of the fight. Dude was throwing some huge shots that was missing. After a while, I started counting. I'm like, yeah, he gonna get tired. And that's what happened. So people kind of overlooked that he gassed out early from punching at the wind a lot of times. He was punching air many times. And Eubanks was just, that's why Eubanks was just walking forward. Yeah, he was headhunting. Shoot, first 8 rounds. Yeah, he only fight at 1 speed, but I thought that he would tire out Eubanks. But Eubanks starting so slow was actually like a gift and a curse. Now, if Eubanks would have been hydrated like he was in the Liam Smith fight the first time or the second time, he would have been good. But the fact that he wasn't hydrated in this fight, he started off sluggish and he got walked. What's up, SBM? Yeah, he should have been patient. That's why I didn't pick him. I was going to pick him. I was like very close to picking him because of the way he fought last night. But I changed my pick. I was like, nah, I can't go with him. Because he only fight at 1 speed. And even though Eubanks was going to be weight drained, he's just big enough to kind of get past that. He took the big shots. His head was humongous, though, when he was walking to the ambulance. He said, being very predictable fighter, he needs to change his game plan throughout the fight. I thought actually that Ben did a good job when he was like ducking and dodging a lot of shots from Eubanks. He was moving a lot in a good way. Like he dodged a lot of punches from Eubanks. I thought he started losing when he gassed out. When he started throwing big shots for no reason, that's when he lost the fight. Because all the punches that he threw led to him being tired and not doing much the last 4 rounds. I think that's why he lost the fight, to be honest with you. Yep, leaned on him for the last 2 rounds. He said, I'm going to let him punch himself out. And then Eubanks saved up enough energy the last 4 rounds. Start digging to the body. And I'm going to say something else, too, people don't know. Ben almost got stopped in the last round. The last 2 rounds. He almost got stopped. Just being honest, he almost got stopped. He was done. He punched himself out. I think the weight started to kick in. I think Eubanks, because you got to realize, too, when a guy like Eubanks cuts weight like that for a long time, when he gets to, after he sweats out, you know, sometimes when you sweat out, the water you had, since you rehydrated, once you sweat that out, sometimes you get stronger as the fight go on. It depends. Like some guys, when they rehydrate like that, coming off a rehydration clause, some guys get stronger as the fight go on. Some guys get more tired, legs get weaker. So this was like the opposite of what happened in other fights. Now, I think Ben should stay at 47. 47 has a lot of big fights. I think that this fight helped Ben. He should stay at 47. Yeah, Eubanks was not bad, Jimmy. Yeah, Ben should have jabbed more, SVM. His jab was a lot better than Eubanks early, but he started going to the right hand. That's when I was like, oh, man, you're going to lose the fight. Because the first thing I thought of, I was like, okay, if Eubanks is using 2 hands and Ben is just using 1 hand, that's only going to last for so long. And by the time the 8th round came around, he started to slow down. 10th round, I say the 11th round, his arms was done. Couldn't really throw nothing. Yeah, he should have leaned on the jab a lot more. I will say that. He has a very good style and he's very aggressive, but if he doesn't jab more in his career, he gonna waste a lot of talent. I think he should go to. Yeah, I think he should stay at 47. 54 is. I don't know. 54 is dangerous, man. Even though it's not what him and Eubank just fought at, 54 is dangerous. It's a lot of guys at 54 that should be at 60 right now. I don't know, Abdul. Hey, Abdul, you heard it here first. They said that Canelo's manager said that he would never work with Eubanks again. But Turkey is working with Eubanks. And that was a fight that Turkey already talked about. Two guys, I'll say this right now, people don't know this. Two guys they actually trying to get ready for Canelo right now are Eubanks and Janovic. If you look at Janovic's fights, his last couple of fights, he's been kind of working around Canelo's schedule, trying to see what he's going to do. Leave himself open. Because, he was supposed to fight Hamzat Shiraz. That didn't go down. A lot of people said Hamzat Shiraz was ducking. Nah, you don't duck a championship fight to fight another championship fight. It's not. Doesn't make sense. Eubanks is at the end of his career though. Yeah, he is at the end. I mean, yeah, he's at the end of his career. He's not gonna fight for another 10 years. Are you playing Fight Night Champions? Yeah, I was thinking about playing a boxing game on here live one day. I gotta figure out how to do that. Well, I know how to do it, but I just haven't done it yet. Yeah, I might download Fight Night Champions today. I told myself I was like, man, I'm gonna download one of those old boxing games and play it again. I think the last boxing game I actually played was y'all remember when they had Rocky, like the Rocky series? I think that was the last boxing game I played. That and Fight Night. I think I played Fight Night after that. Probably Fight Night. Yeah, they don't remember Fight Night though. They do not remember Fight Night. Yeah, Eubanks versus Janovic would be good. Yeah, that'd be a good fight. Eubanks versus Janovic will be a good fight. I would actually watch that. Or Adames, or Lara, or Shiraz. Shiraz is 68 now. I think Shiraz at 68 would be way too much for Eubanks. Just a bigger dude. McKenna, that'd be a good fight. Oh yeah, he said service to Jenkins the last week was invites work. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, McKenna, he's a good fighter. I don't know if McKenna is guaranteed to go in there and outbox Eubanks because he kind of boxed the same way as McKenna does. And I don't know if he definitely wouldn't fight McKenna at 160, and I don't think McKenna's gonna go to 68. So that's a fight that wouldn't happen. He went out of this way to make his the fight at 160 because the fans wanted to see it, but that'll be a waste. Oh yeah, yeah. I watch soccer. Yeah, I know who Liverpool and Spurs are. It's 3-1 at halftime. Yeah, man. Yeah, I know the Liverpool and Spurs are. He said they call it soccer. Yeah, man. I don't know if I want to see this rematch though. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna give my honest opinion. I like the fight. I would watch it again if they had it, but I don't know for sure if I'm all in on the rematch though. Oh, Fenway Group is the owners? Oh, I didn't know that. I heard they bought something recently, but probably slipped my mind it was Liverpool. Yeah, no rematch, man. I'm kind of good on it. I think the fight was perfect. Like, leave it where it was at right there. And then Hearn like, yeah, they got a rematch clause. I'm like, even Conor Benn wasn't up there like, yeah, I'm ready for the rematch. I can't. He's looking like, bro, I need a nap. I need some herbal tea. Everything. Yeah, I know, man. That's what they do now. That's kind of hurting sports too, Abdul. These dudes just buying up clubs and franchises and trying to see if they can get a championship real quick. Then they sell the team. These owners are trash on some of these teams. We got a couple of owners on my favorite teams, man. These dudes is the worst. The worst. Telling you. These guys are the worst. Soccer team we got out here pretty cool though. But you know, a lot of those guys are going to Premier League now. Yeah, me too. You said world title welterweight is Ben's best move in my opinion. Yeah, I think so. If you don't go after the world title at 47, them dudes at 54 is a little big, man. They're a little big. For some reason, he didn't look that small against Conor Benn. I mean, not Conor Benn, but Eubanks. For some reason, yeah, he'll be at 160 in 5 years. He didn't look that. That's why I said he didn't look that small against Eubanks. But I think 54 right now, it just has too many guys that's like that could be at 160 that's at 54. I think that's just too much for him. He could rack up 2 or 3 losses at 54 fast. And he only weighed in at what, 56? So nah, he's not. He's definitely a 47 still. If he weighed in at 56. I think it's better fights for him at 47 too. Still can fight guys like maybe him and Ryan Garcia can fight down the line. Turkey Allen Sheik probably can make something like that happen. Maybe he can fight Teofimo Lopez or somebody, you know, down the line. He can fight a lot of people at 47. It's a lot more bigger names, notable names at that weight class than it is. I know 54 is a big weight class, but who's he gonna fight? Madrimov or that wouldn't even look right at this point. He would have to fight it, stay at 47. It's better for the weight class too. Him staying at 47 would make 47 better. So yeah, I think he should stay and go for a world title there. You talking about what age? I don't know. It depends, man. I've seen some people. It depends. I think it's based on what you eat because I've seen some people that's like super skinny to the like 60, 70. You know what I'm saying? Because I've seen some people like, I've seen some Irish women, like those small Irish women. It's like super skinny. They be like 60, 70 years old, but they're real small. Yeah, they have I mean, they have fast metabolism. So, you know, I don't know what age it kicks in, man. And usually, I think it's based on what you eat, though. The way I see it. I think he can stay fast as long as you doing certain things. Yeah, so Ben, I don't know, man. He doesn't look like a guy who's gonna pack up much weight until like the next 5 years. I think in 5 years, what, he's 27 right now? I might be wrong, I don't know. Let's just say he's 27. 5 years, 32. Yeah, so around that age, 60, probably 160. But he's not struggling to make 47 though, so it just depends. Not from what I see. It doesn't look like he's struggling. 10 pounds over, 9 pounds. Yeah, it definitely agreed to Clarence. Definitely agreed. They can make a lot of fights happen right now off of this fight instead of running a rematch back. The crazy part about it is, Clarence, they already had a rematch clause in the contract. You know, Eddie Hearn was saying that they had a rematch clause already set. So I'm like, it's disgusting. Oh, he's 28 now? I might be thinking about last year. I don't know why I'm thinking that they're 27, 34. So 28 and 35 now. And yeah, I think Ben, he's gonna have to stay at 47 for a couple of years. Eubanks, I think yesterday was the last time he could really do a fight like that because he looked tired in the fight. Not to say that that's the reason why it was close, but he looked tired in the fight. I haven't seen him much over the years, but from what I seen him do in October and what I seen him do on this card, night and day. It's night and day. He was on the Vanderbilt card too, wasn't he? Night and day. Looks like two totally different people. I would honestly say when all this both went up after last night was yeah, it was. See how big the heads was too, bro. I mean, them dudes. When I seen Eubanks walking to the ambulance, I'm like, this dude's head is swollen. Like it's gotten bigger as he's walking to the ambulance. Then I'm looking at the press conference after I get off the live with you guys, and I look at Conor Benn, him talking to Eddie Hearn. His head looks normal. Then the camera goes away, it comes back. This dude's head is swollen. I'm like, his head is literally growing as he's sitting at the press conference talking to the media. First thing I said to myself was, this dude needs to go to the hospital. This was a real war. A lot of people say that fight was, you know, as far as the headline and narrative was scripted. Let's just say it was for hypothetical reasons. Bro, look how big those guys' heads were. I haven't seen two boxers' heads swollen after a fight at that size in a long time. It's been a long time. It's been a while. Yeah, the swelling was just, it was happening as they're talking and walking around in the back. I'm like, that's when I realized, man, these dudes really was fighting for their last name. That was definitely a legacy fight. After you fight like that, it's best that you leave it alone. It's best that you leave it alone. Yeah, let Chris get that W, because even though I picked him this time, if he fights Conor Benn again, I'm not picking him next time. I'm telling you that right now. If Eubanks fights Conor Benn again, I'm not picking him next time. It's not gonna happen. Eddie Hearn said, yeah, we have the same details as far as the first fight. Rematch clause already signed. I'm like, oh man. Rematch already signed? This dude head was swollen yesterday. Then Conor Benn didn't look any better. Because at first I said, man, Eubank looked like he lost the fight. You see how big his head is? I said, it's going to be hard to say this dude won the fight and his head looks like that. Then I go look at Conor Benn's head. I'm like, oh, that's worse. His is growing as we're sitting here looking at him. So I don't know how bad his head was by the time he got home. Because after the fight, he looked normal. I don't know if everybody's seen the picture. But he looks normal right here. After the fight, Conor Benn looked normal right here. I'm going to tell you guys right now, when he was talking with Eddie Hearn at the press conference, he did not look like this. Telling you guys that right now. He did not look like this after the fight. Matter of fact, when I seen the video, I said, I'm not watching anything else. I'm good. I'm just going to enjoy the fight. I'm not watching anything else. He said, credit to the ref for letting him do get out on the inside. Yeah, he was doing all right. He was breaking up a little bit. I felt like he wanted to let the action go. But because most of the time he didn't want them to use that time to use that to rest or to kill time. So he jumped in between, boom, get out of there. But I felt like he could have did a better job though. He wasn't as swift as he could have been. It was a lot of times where he waited too long and he was too far away. Because it was another referee last night. I don't know if was that the same fight? I think it was the yard fight. I don't know if you guys saw the referee for the yard fight, but he was like, it looked like he was about to walk into him. Like that's how close he was. He was like sitting there like about to walk into Yard and Arthur to break up. I think Yard and Arthur had a better they had better exchanges on the inside than Ben and Eubanks did. But it made for a good fight though. Because the fight on the outside was a lot better than them fighting on the inside. Yeah, that lanky dude. Yeah, his cheeks started to get pause, his face started to get a lot more swollen as as the fight was ending, but like his head shape, like where his haircut is, where his hair is on his head, that started to grow. And I was like, whoa. You can kind of see Eubank's head kind of swell up in the ring, but his was like at the press conference. I said, yeah, Conor Benn, he looks normal. I said, yeah, he doesn't have any injuries. I should pull up the video real quick. Let me see if I can find it. This dude's head looks like a cartoon last night. I was like, whoa. Yeah, this is bad, man. I can't even lie. That was a good fight though. I'm not saying bad as in why did this happen? You know what I'm saying? I'm just talking about as far as it didn't look the way it did as far as after the fight. Oof. Yeah, this is outrageous. I think this is a good one. Yeah, his head is swollen, man. Pretty big. Compared to where it was right there. Let me see. Yeah, he took some damage. Yeah, his head was getting bigger, bro. Yeah, it was swelling up, bro. Yeah, somebody called it headbutt. Who was that? They called the headbutt yesterday. I think it was Smith or somebody. I was like, bro, what are you doing? You gonna cost yourself the fight. Yeah, his head was swelled up a little bit. This is on the Sky Sports one. I don't know who had the other camera angle. I think that was Ring Magazine. When it was close up, I'm like, whoa. That might have been Ring though. But man, that was a good fight. That definitely lived up to the hype. A lot of people wasn't expecting that kind of fight, but I thought it would live up to the hype. Especially the fact that this fight was already scheduled to not happen in the past. And they had a chance to run it back again. Yeah, you just don't let nothing like this slip away. So you got to take advantage of it. I didn't see Nigel Benn talk that much. He talked a little bit, but as far as the press conference, yeah, this picture is worse. This the one I was like, whoa. Sky Sports, they did a good job showing Conor Benn's face. He didn't look that bad on his that telecast. Yeah, he didn't look that bad. But on these, I was like, whoa. Just trying to get some context real quick. Not to say he got destroyed or anything. I'm just saying. Head started to grow to a different size. I'm like, am I tripping? Maybe I am. I don't know. I was just watching this last night. I'm like, hold on, man. Look like his head's getting bigger. You say you think his nose broke? Dang. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I done seen Conor Benn's face before. Doesn't look like Conor Benn. You say he talks like he has brain damage. He slurs his language. I ain't hear him talk last night. I've heard him talk, but not last night. But yeah, man, this was a good fight though. I think a second one. I'm saying this because it was a real war. Like I haven't seen too many fights where fighters are looking like this after the fight, man. This was like close to some Fury and the Wilder type of stuff. Haven't seen guys get beat down like this before. Cause you know, after the fight, you'll see guys say, "Oh man, I wish I would have won," and you'll be like, he probably doesn't care that much. Then when you see the beating these guys took, I don't know what kind of script that was, but I don't think that was in the script. That was a beating he took. He was giving out beatings too, cause all his shots to Eubanks were basically headshots. That's why I was wondering, like, man, Eubanks. That's why I'm not surprised that Eubanks' head is bigger than his because he took way more shots to the head. It was like after a while, he was like, "You're not gonna knock me out. I'm gonna prove it." Eubanks got to a point where he wasn't even blocking a lot of the hooks or right hands, and Conor Benn was just aiming them, boom, boom. That's why he was throwing so many of them. But I don't think that Eubanks would have actually won the fight if he would have forced Conor Benn to use the jab and box. I think the fact that he was letting Conor Benn just throw the right hand is the reason he actually did win, if that makes sense. Because when Conor Benn was jabbing him, he was getting beat up. Now I haven't seen the Comfy Box stats. I need to look them up. I'm about to pull them up right now. That's a good idea. SBM, appreciate that. Thanks. That's a good idea. Let's pull it up right now. He was getting destroyed, man. Oh, Ben was throwing a lot of power shots them last couple of rounds, though. That definitely makes sense. Let me see. All right, we're going to pull it up full screen. So first round, Ben threw 3 jabs. My bad, he landed 3 jabs, threw 10. Eubanks threw 30 jabs, landed 7. Ben came out through 15 power punches, landed 4. Eubanks landed 7 power punches, threw 18. So Ben, first 5 rounds, he landed 4 power hooks, uppercuts, power punches. 4 in the first round, 6 in the second, 6 in the third, 9 in the fourth, and 5 in the fifth. Eubanks landed 7 in the first. He landed 0 in the second, 2 in the third, 8 in the fourth, and 5 in the fifth. I think right here in the second and third round, this is where Eubanks, he didn't have any energy. Like I was saying earlier, if you look at Eubanks' numbers, we're going to break this down real quick, as I was talking about earlier. I think what the rehydration clause did to Eubanks was it made him, I would say, get stronger as the fight went on. Instead of starting the fight energized or having some kind of energy, he started to fight sluggish. So, and then as the fight went on, he got stronger. If you go to the jabs, he threw 7. I mean, he landed 7. Eubanks did. Landed 16 second round. Third round, he landed 16. 13 the fourth. And then 14 in the fifth. And then Ben in the the first round, 3. Second round, 4. Third, 4. Not really that many jabs. I didn't expect that many jabs from him. Yeah, I didn't expect that many jabs from him. And you can kind of tell like what these guys were leaning on, because Eubanks, he went around where he didn't throw, he couldn't land any power punches. And then Ben, he goes around where he couldn't land any jabs. So he wasn't really focusing on landing a jab. And Eubanks wasn't focusing on landing any hooks, especially early in the fight. So that's like a big sign of something. That shows early on that Conor Benn was throwing a lot of hooks, and Eubanks definitely didn't want to go back and forth with that. But then late in the fight, it shows that Eubanks was jabbing, and Conor Benn really couldn't answer with that. But he was throwing a lot of power punches in that round. But he got out-punched with the power punches. He got outlanded with jabs and hooks and uppercuts. In the 11th round, Eubanks outlanded him. And he threw more jabs too. Threw more power punches, landed more, and he threw more hooks and landed more. So when I say that 11th round, he dominated the 11th round. Wasn't even close. 12th round. same way. Yeah, Ben couldn't land anything after the. I would say after the. I'm gonna tell you what hurt Conor Benn right now. I'm gonna tell everybody what hurt Conor Benn. What hurt Conor Benn was when he got to the 8th round, and instead of him throwing 20 jabs, he misses 20 power punches. He misses 30 power punches. So you gotta think about it. He's swinging at the air 30 times in the most important round, and he got tired quick. And then the round before that, in the 7th round, he missed 26 power punches. And then the round before that, he missed 18. So he's missing more power punches as he's going on, instead of him settling down and just leaning on the jab until he's able to rejuvenate himself. Yeah, he kind of used himself up a little bit, trying to land a big shot around the 7th, 8th, or 9th. I think he had a feeling around that round that Eubanks would slow down. He took a chance. Oh yeah, the fight was close. No, I'm not saying the fight. No. SBM, the fight was close. I'm not saying the fight wasn't close. What I'm saying, no, it was. Those stats make it. It just make us look weird. It is. It's just two different styles: power puncher, boxer, and then when it got towards the end, it seemed like Ben was trying to box, and Eubanks was brawling. Yeah, Eubanks was brawling towards the end. That's why he got all these power punches. You see how many power punches Eubanks threw in the 12th round? Think about this, bro. Eubanks in the 2nd and 3rd round, he only threw 9 and 10 power punches. In the 12th round, the man threw 114 power punches. That is outrageous. He threw 114 power punches. That's probably the craziest stat. I don't know if everybody sees that, but it's in the corner right here. You see what the power punches are. 12th round, dude threw 114 power punches. In the last round. That's why I said the last round, he was trying to get Conor Benn. He almost got Conor Benn up out of there. He threw 94 power punches the 11th round. In the 12th round, he threw 114. Now, I didn't watch it in slow-mo. I didn't even watch it over yet. I'm going to watch it again. Because I know Conor Benn was landing some stuff that, I thought that Eubanks was going to get knocked out a couple of times. But then after a while, I realized he was going to try to prove that he can walk through all these punches. That he's not soft, I guess. I guess people think he's soft. So he was out there to prove that he's not soft. He gonna walk through everything. But he definitely walked to the ambulance after the fight. Because, man, his head was swollen. Yeah, he was on pure instincts. I guess he told himself going into the fight, it's going to be a point in time in the fight where he just going to walk through a lot of punches. He's like, I'm either going to use my energy that I got left to dodge a lot of shots, or I'm just going to walk through it and use that energy I got left to throw a lot of punches. So instead of me using that energy to dance around, I'm going to use it to walk through a lot of shots. And I'm going to let Conor Benn punch himself out. He basically did like an Ali. I don't want to go far. People going to be like, Ali? You comparing him to Ali? No, I'm just saying, Ali did that against Foreman. Let him punch himself out. You know, that still works in boxing. I don't know if everybody knows that or not. People be like, boxing in the 70s, that still works, bro. I mean, you can still make a guy punch himself out and win a fight. It happens all the time. That's how most upsets happen. But yeah, I think he performed well though. I don't know if he can do it again though, I'm just being honest. Cause Like SVM said, that was a close fight. And I felt like going into the fight, I was close to picking Conor Benn because I had Eubanks. Then I switched to Conor Benn for a little bit. And then when the weigh-in happened, I was really nervous. I was like, I don't know. He looked drained, tired. First couple of rounds, he was drained and tired. But it's a good fight, though. Yeah, skill went out the window in the last round. I think the last 2 rounds it did. Because I think the second, I can't remember like thoroughly, but I think the 11th round looked like the 12th round. They wasn't on the ropes as much. Yeah, but those last 2 rounds, it became Mexican style real quick. Yeah, I like these percentages though. 40% power punches by Eubanks and Conor Benn. That says a lot, man. I think those jabs hurt him though. Him only having like 25% on the jabs. That definitely hurt him. So, but he couldn't set the right hand up that much. He was just throwing it based off speed. I think he was using his speed way too much. That's what made him tire out fast too. The fact that he knew he could punch at a high speed, he's like, okay, I'm gonna get him up out of there real fast. Because when Conor Benn started throwing that left hook around the second, third round, I was like, whoa, he's gonna end up knocking out Chris Eubanks. I was like, he's gonna knock him out. He stepped in front of him so fast and threw the hook. By the time Chris Eubanks realized that he threw a hook, he was already back 4 feet away. So yeah, that speed was a problem. People can say his age, yeah, because you know Chris Eubanks probably not the same fighter as he was 4 or 5 years ago, but who knows if he would have been as smart as he was in this fight 4 or 5 years ago. He probably would have got beat up worse. Probably would have tried to fight him toe to toe the whole fight. He wasn't toe to toe until like the end of the fight. I think Abdul had said that towards the end of the fight. He started fighting Conor Benn toe to toe. And he was walking forward. By the time Conor Benn was on the ropes, I knew that the fight changed by then. That's why a lot of people saying, oh, I don't know who won. Man, he pushed the man to the ropes the last 4 or 5 rounds. And he couldn't do anything. And he didn't really have to do that. He could have just kept fighting the same way he was on the outside. But for him to, hold on, he said teases rehydration. Okay. Got some news coming in right now. They're saying, see how much. Hold on, they got some news coming in right now about this rehydration clause. In this fight coming up. Yeah, they're talking about right now. They're talking about right now this rehydration clause for the rematch. That's funny. They just now saying something about this. They gonna wait till the fight get good then to say something about the rehydration clause. That's insane. So Ben Shalom is talking about this rehydration clause that Eddie Hearn brought up yesterday, and he was saying some things as far as it's already signed, as far as a rematch and the same kind of details and circumstances that was in the first fight will be in the second fight as far as rehydration, weight, everything. Probably even location. I don't know. I don't know about that. That's a different side, but then, Ben Shalom comes out just now and says, we gotta see how much Eubank's weight cuts hurt, how much it becomes a problem. He said, obviously, it's not ideal that we're all. He said, that's all we're thinking about, making weight today. It's getting harder and harder for Eubanks every time, and the rehydration clause doesn't make it any easier. Hopefully, we'll look at removing the rehydration clause after this fight, but the main thing is getting the win. Bro, what? What is this guy talking about? Yeah, man, this dude sounds insane. Yeah, we'll fight the first fight with it, but the second fight we just don't know. We'll have to see about removing it for the second fight. We're just trying to get a win right now. We're not focused on that. It's not a big deal. Allegedly. Yeah, Eddie said he wants Ben to stay at 147 post-fight conference. Yeah, he said feels like Conor Benn's a star now after the performance. I mean, he's already a big name. People know who he is. It's not a lot of big names in boxing that's more notable than his. For whatever reason. It's not a lot of guys. Even a lot of big names said they would like to fight him, so he's already considered a big name. It just validated what Eddie Hearn's been saying already. But this rehydration clause is insane though. They definitely got to make some changes. Abdul says they made Eubanks Jr. like guinea pig with rehydration clause and contract and controlling him. That man need water in his body. Yeah, that was you see how he was drinking the water before he went to the before he did a ring walk? I'm like, whoa. Man, a dude is trying to he's trying to rehydrate bad, bro. Like the fact that he was drinking water before he walked out to the center of the ring, before he walked out to the ring walk, during the whole time he's warming up, trying to rehydrate. Crazy. The fight even shows that he was rehydrating during the fight. Yeah, he said, we'll look at it. Man, either you're going to do it or not. He said Conor is a warrior. He took on a giant. Yeah, he definitely fought better than I thought he would. The way he fought is, he fought a bigger guy and threw a lot more punches too than I thought he would. I didn't think that right hand would last that long, but he was throwing a lot of right hands. But yeah, if he's gonna tease that they're gonna remove the rehydration clause, just do it. If you don't, just don't do it then. Seems like he already knows what people think about the rehydration clause. So he's a smart guy. To say you'll look at it after the first time you do it, it's a weird choice of words, but it is what it is. He said Ben Shalom needs to be strong in the contract stages. He getting punked. You think he getting punked in the contract talks? They're like, man, you don't know what you're talking about. I just think they just went into it and was like, they probably went to him and, said, if Chris was 47, we'll be doing the same thing. So, Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe it works. I don't know. Let me see. I'm trying to put something in real quick. Yeah, it's gonna be some a lot of different things happening for this fight. If it happens again, but you'll hear some news about it soon. You will hear some news about it soon. And you might hear about another big fight, a big domestic fight probably happens soon out there. I think any fighters that was trying to put a fight together out there probably seen the response that these guys got and probably want to get involved. I think they would even try to look into being on the undercard of the next fight. That undercard was good. That was a very good undercard. That undercard is competing with I don't know. You can say that undercard is competing with um the recent undercards. Like what Joshua and Dubois had. Joshua and Dubois was a good undercard, but I don't know if it was better than that one. Yeah. Yeah, if they remove this rematch, rehydration clause, that'll be good. But that's what a lot of people are expecting. They think the rehydration clause is pretty dumb. And he said this before the fight happened. He knows what time it is. Did you see Eddie attack Shalom during the egg incident? I didn't see that. And you know what's crazy? I still haven't watched the egg incident. I looked at it, but I didn't really look at it thoroughly. I didn't realize that till a couple of days ago. I was like, man, I really didn't look at it. There was some other things happening. I seen the incident, but I didn't really look into it. Been over Shalom needs to be strong in his contract to go stages and hydration. If the second fight happens, UJ Junior is super middleweight. Yeah, I don't know. I think Ben coming in at 156, that was perfect because he can be like, man, I'm not no 168. But if you want a rematch, but they already got a rematch clause, so it's not really nothing to work out. I know we would probably say, yeah, make it another weight class, but they already have everything sorted out already. Same weight class. Only thing gonna be different is the date and location, I guess, and undercard. Everything else is gonna be the same, unless they remove it. He said, hopefully we'll look at it after this fight. Hopefully, nah. That means it's a good chance it's not gonna happen. That's what that means right there. It's a good chance that if I asked them about the rehydration clause, can we take it out? Because Eddie already spoke on it last night. They asked Eddie about it. He's like, it's already signed. Eddie didn't say anything about, we'll look at it. He's like, it's already signed. And you know, Eddie's happy about it because he's seen a close fight. He know that a lot of people are going to want to see a rematch for this fight. I would say it's 50-50. It'd probably be 75-50, probably 25%. That's probably like the weight, probably just a little too much, but they'll probably still watch the fight though. It definitely lived up to the hype though. That's the good thing about everything that happened. That fight, it was a good chance that fight definitely couldn't live up to the hype, but it did. I think that's the best part about everything. It lived up to the hype. Because it could have been a fight where a lot of people not really pay attention to it, but I think it lived up to the hype though. Yeah, I think it definitely lived up to the hype. A lot of people didn't catch on to the fight until later on. I think once that weigh-in happened, that's when everybody started to realize the fight was happening. But in my eyes, it lived up to the hype. I don't want a rematch because there's nothing to fight for, no belts, different weight class. Hearn wants the bag. I think if Hearn, I'm gonna say this though, if Eddie Hearn and Shalom doesn't do the rematch, I think it'll be harder for them. I think them doing the rematch is the easy thing to do. You know, them doing the rematch is the easy thing to do because it's like, okay, I can buy some more time, another 6 months until I can figure out what to do with Eubanks and Ben next. With Eubanks at the age he is right now, him doing a rematch basically lets me know that there's no other big fights that he's really gonna be into, unless he fights a Canelo or something. They mentioned him with Crawford at one time, but people were like, "Oh my God, that's insane." Yeah, but I heard recently, if you heard recently though, Abdul with that Fury and Joshua situation, I dropped a lot of hints why it's not happening, but man, that fight is so far apart right now, bro. There's a lot of reasons why, but I don't know if people are ready to hear why. Because I've said it a couple times or in the past. I know you probably knew, but you know, the fans want to see the fight, absolutely, but I don't think, to be honest with you, and this to be completely honest, I don't know if there's ever been as much pressure on Joshua and Fury to make a fight like this. And they just not executing it. Because it's on these guys to make the fight, Fury and Joshua, so just not executing it. Sometimes you gotta pick the phone up and call these guys yourself and make the fight happen. It's a lot of fighters that make fights happen themselves before the promoters and everybody else get involved. So with this fight happening right now with Conor Benn and Eubanks, this is a fight they want to happen more than anybody else. So that's why it's getting made like this, and that's why it's so easy to make it happen. But in the case with Joshua and Fury, those guys on both sides just haven't made the fight happen at any time. At the times Fury wanted to make the fight happen, Joshua didn't make the fight happen. Time Joshua wanted to make the fight happen, Fury didn't make the fight happen. So waited too long. And then right now it's just a bad time, bro. There was a chance of him making the fight happen, but I think him fighting Ngannou was a bad thing, man. When the Ngannou thing happened, it pushed a lot of stuff back. It pushed a lot of things back. I think history kind of proved that. I'm not a promoter or nothing, but I seen that coming from a mile away. Not as far as the fight with Ngannou. I'm talking about like how the fight with him. You gotta think about it. Fury was supposed to rematch Usyk by February. Let's just say he was supposed to rematch Usyk by at least May. By the time they had the first fight, that was supposed to be a rematch already. But it pushed a lot of things back, so you seen a lot of other fights get pushed back. It was just a domino effect. But yeah, that's definitely what happened. But hopefully, man, they make everything a lot better, man. Ben Shalom is definitely in a situation right now where he can bounce back after last week. You know, a lot of people still upset about the other fight, but you know, he can definitely bounce back with a good fight setup. But him making this fight at 160 again, it's just it'll be a bad look. It really would. And the bad part, and it's not even the weight class. I think the weight class is not the bad part. The bad part was the rehydration clause being on there. That's why they're speaking on the rehydration clause. And they already knew it going into the fight before it happened, that this was going to be an issue for the fighter, for Eubanks. That's why they mentioned it. Yeah, they already knew it. I think it just played a part in him actually getting started as far as taking him a couple of rounds to warm himself up. But he already knew what the game plan was. Definitely knew what the game plan was. That was a good showing yesterday though. Oh, you like Liverpool? I like Liverpool. They got those red jerseys, right? I don't know if I like the jerseys though. Yeah, I gotta get off of here and time is it? Yeah, I gotta watch some other things now. But yeah, man, that was a good fight yesterday though. I hope people enjoyed it. A lot of people ain't gonna watch it, pay attention to it. I mean, they're gonna miss out on a good fight, but it was definitely something worth watching until this weekend. The other fights come on. Definitely worth watching until these other fights come on. So that's what I'm kind of waiting on. But man, it's gonna be some huge fights coming on this weekend. We're gonna talk about it tomorrow. Think I'm gonna have some news coming out. Yeah, the red jerseys. Yeah, they cool. It's kind of plain, but I still like it. I like the plain look with the white shorts. Yeah, I know my sports a little bit, man. And the crazy part is I don't even watch sports like that no more. I watch boxing, but I don't watch sports like that no more. Yeah, but I appreciate everybody for coming through, man. I'm gonna holler at you guys later on. I just wanted to come on here for a few seconds and well, a couple of hours, talk about the fight from last night. I'm probably gotta do some UFC stuff later on, but yeah, I appreciate everybody for coming through, man. Abdul, I'm gonna holler at you tomorrow. Everybody else, SBM. I don't know if I ever seen you before. Well, I appreciate everybody for coming through.